you doing, man? All right.
I'm so glad to have you here. This is wonderful. We worked together in entertainment for years. As an audio tech, and we've gotten to know each other real well. We're together now to talk about something that has happened to you that was unexpected. I want people to understand how important the human body is and how important the organs are in your body, and how simple neglect or just things that are everyday that we don't even think about can affect us years later, like it did me, and something that happened to Deeesher. And we're going to talk about it right now. First of all, how old are you now?
Older than 40.
Younger than 60.
Yes, somewhere in there. Yeah.
Definitely younger than me, which is good.
I always tell people I am 42. That is the answer to life, the universe, and everything.
Oh my God, I like that. So let's talk about what happened when I first met you. You were healthy. There was a silent little killer happening to you that you were not aware about.
Apparently not.
Yeah. So why don't you go ahead and talk about what happened?
I used to not necessarily eat so good. I had horrible eating habits, but at the same time, I was also a very picky eater too, so I didn't eat that much. But I tried to exercise. But typically, I was, McDonald's quarter pounders, macaroni and cheese. I'd have to get mozzarella sticks almost every day. And I tried to exercise a little bit. And I think it was probably 2012, maybe even 2015. Doctor checkup said that my cholesterol was high. Again, I tried to do everything, exercise right, but
I think around 2015 was the time that we met.
that's very possible.
Around then, because I remember when I left my job and I went over to where you worked.
That's
It was
right.
right around 2015. So
That's
that's
right.
kind of, you seemed very healthy.
Yeah.
And I had no idea.
I was never overweight because, like I said, as bad as my eating habits were, I tried to exercise and I tried to not overeat. I think that's the biggest thing. But when my doctor told me my cholesterol was bad, I'm like, all right, maybe I should improve my diet. I knew that that's something I absolutely should have been doing years ago, but I just, I liked what I liked.
Mhm.
So I started eating healthier. I started eating. I was never really a big meat eater, but I did focus more on turkey and chicken. I stopped going to McDonald's. I stopped with the macaroni and cheese. I tried to eat more salads occasionally, but not so often.
Was this because your lifestyle prevented you, or was this just something that you just thought
Well,
was
I was never much of a chef myself at home by any means, or even at work. It's easy to get garbage food at work too.
Oh my God, yeah.
So when doctor told me cholesterol was high, I decided maybe I should make some changes. Maybe I should try to see if I can lower my cholesterol, because he wanted to put me on prescription drugs, and I did not want to be on a prescription if I didn't have to. So I decided I would start doing eating a little bit healthier, and I did my own research, and actually I found out that now, I don't know if you knew about this or not, but there's something called red yeast rice pills. And it's apparently it's an organic thing that, from my research, has proven that it will lower your cholesterol. So I thought, all right, I'm going to try that. So I started trying to eat better. I started trying to exercise more,
Right.
and I started taking these red yeast rice pills. I went back to the doctor, and doctor was very happy. And doctor said, wow, your cholesterol is lower. It's great now. And I figured, all right, fantastic. I did everything I needed to do. I will be healthy forever now. So fast forward to about, I would say 2018, 2019. I typically tried to get a checkup every year just to make sure that everything was still, working the way it's supposed to, and still tried to eat relatively decent, and still tried to exercise. I was never, somebody that went to the gym all the time or, excessively worked out. Just, I basically, again, did the bare minimum.
Understood.
But I remember I was exercising, I was doing some jogging, and I remember I started getting fatigue. I remember my upper arms, for some reason, after about 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, my upper arms really started to ache. And I thought, well, that's strange. Why is that happening? But I just figured, as you get older, maybe your body doesn't work as well, so you sort of accept the fact that, I'm getting more fatigued easier because of age.
Yep.
So I sort of wrote it off. I didn't think much about it. Then we had COVID happen, and I probably didn't go to the doctor that year because I didn't want to go to the doctors with the pandemic around or anything. So I avoided it for about a year or so. Then here we are in 2022. It would have been October of 2022. This is when I got sick, I remember. It was nothing more than, I don't think it was anything too bad, just bad cold, whatever. I was out of work for a couple of days, went back to work. When I was going up some stairs, I started getting out of breath. I thought, why am I so exhausted all of a sudden? Why am I so out of breath? It really knocked the wind out of me, and I thought, well, what's going on? So I went to the health services there at work, and I talked to them. They said, everything looks normal, and they suggested that maybe I was dehydrated because I'd been sick and I just hadn't been getting enough water. I thought I'd always drank a lot of water, but
Wow. Okay.
Apparently not. So I took another couple of days off just to try and recover. I had a big convention that week that I went to, and I did all kinds of running around, and actually that was the week I met the cast from Twin Peaks.
Nice.
So,
oh my God. So cool.
Yeah, so little do you know, when you look at that picture, you're like, you're right on the verge of a major issue. And here I am all smiles. But
when you were at that convention, I think we had talked about you felt sluggish even then.
Well, I felt a little bit sluggish. I actually had, there were a couple of incidents that happened while I was there that should have been a problem, but I don't know if it was adrenaline pushing me through it or me just ignoring, all the signs or whatever. Like I said, I was a little exhausted, a little worn out, walked around a lot during that time, but I was fine. Then the following week, I go back to work, and it happened again, where all of a sudden I'm suddenly out of breath and exhausted, and I can't understand. I'm not even doing anything, literally going up and down stairs. And I thought, maybe I still am not getting enough water. And then I, made the joke that maybe I'm allergic to work. And then I thought, well, maybe I just need electrolytes because it's what plants crave, for those that have seen Idiocracy. And I thought, I definitely need to make a doctor appointment. I remember the very next day waking up, and I had this tightness in my chest, and I was having trouble breathing, and it didn't make any sense to me. I remember being at home thinking, I need to go to the doctor today. And then I had that thought of should I maybe go to the hospital? And then I had that other thought of, should I call an ambulance? Because it was bad enough that the idea of going to my car sounded like a marathon. And
isn't that the weirdest feeling?
Yes.
That never in my life before what happened to me would I ever consider calling an ambulance or going to the hospital, like that. But your body just knows, and all of a sudden something happens in your head. Is like, no one knows your body better than yourself. But when these thoughts are coming in your head, something is seriously wrong.
Yeah.
And this is a prelude to something that happened to you. So continue. Go.
Yeah. And it's interesting too, because again, I never thought heart, because the tightness was more on the right side of my chest. And I thought, well, I know my heart's here somewhere, so it's odd that I would have tightness over here.
Yeah.
That didn't make any sense to me. So I was convinced that it was muscles or a problem with my lungs. So I called up my doctor, see if they could get me in for the day. And then I thought, all right, all I got to do now is get to the car. And I legitimately had the thought, if I pass out in the parking lot, somebody will see me. That was literally my mindset at the time. And I'm like, okay, I think I can do this.
Like parallel.
Yeah.
The same thing that happened to me, and I'll just really quickly, the day that I made the decision to go to my primary care doctor. This was 24 hours before I slipped into my coma.
Oof.
I couldn't breathe. I couldn't walk. There was water buildup and everything was just falling apart with me. And I remember Tyler was driving me to see my primary doctor, and I was saying in my head, just like you, like, if I can just get there, if I fall or whatever, people will find me. But God, it was what a horrible. That's the same thought process that I had that you have when you go. If I'm going into the hospital, if I fall, someone's going to find me. You know? Oh my God. Oh. Yeah. My blood pressure's going up right now. Like,
by the time I get to the car, I feel better. I feel okay. I go inside and I go see them.
So you tell yourself.
Yeah. I saw they did a bunch of tests on me. They did an EKG. EKG came back perfect. Nothing wrong with the EKG. Everybody was very confused. So it didn't make any sense. She sent me out for some blood work, which would have been a follow-up appointment the following week. This would have been the end of October. So I did the blood work, went back the following week for a follow-up appointment with my doctor. It was interesting how casually the conversation was. Well, according to your blood work, your cholesterol seems a little high still. By the way, you need to go to the ER right now. And it absolutely blindsided me, and I'm like, I feel fine. And she says, not according to this.
Yeah.
I had elevated troponin levels, and it's a little bit vague. I don't know, obviously my initials are MD, but I'm not a doctor. I don't know all the little nuanced details about it, but apparently, it was quite high enough for them to be very concerned and to send me to the ER. It didn't make any sense to me, but, supposedly doctors know best. Supposedly about it. They do.
They do know best.
But I am stubborn, as you can imagine.
Aren't we all?
So I go into the ER. Doctor said I need to come here because of elevated troponin levels. So they give me a room, they set me up, they give me a gown, and I'm like, I'm not going to be here that long. I feel okay.
Oh, my God. I need to take a Xanax.
Yeah.
I really do. I'm like reliving my experience. It's so parallel.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. Whew, okay.
Yeah.
Go. Let's get through this.
Yeah, so they did a bunch of tests on me. I don't even know what they were. They were able to narrow down what it's not. And they went through a bunch of different tests, and they said, it ain't your lungs, it ain't your muscles. And I'm like, well, then that means, and they're like, yeah, it's probably your heart. So they wanted to keep me overnight, and me saying, I'll tell you what, I'll make an appointment with a cardiologist. And that seemed to make them a little happy. So I left and found a cardiologist.
You had some good talking. They wouldn't let me go.
Yeah.
You're
trust me, they were not happy about letting me go.
They wouldn't let me go.
So I left and made an appointment with a cardiologist for the following week. Talked to him about a bunch of stuff, and he says, I want to do a heart catheter. I'm like, well, come on, this is getting out of hand. I feel fine. It's like, that's the only way we'll know for sure.
Denial.
Yeah.
Denial.
Absolutely.
Oh,
absolutely.
Yep.
So I'm at the cardiologist. He wants to, considering doing a heart catheter, which I had no interest in, but then he talked about possibly doing a stent if there is some blockage. And I'm like, all right, fine. If that's, he talked about doing a stress test, but he said he didn't want to put any undue stress on my heart. Now, in my mind, I was thinking, I just need to walk it off. Need to push myself more, and maybe it'll be okay. And here he's telling me, do not do anything. And there were a couple of incidences before I did the heart catheter, because you couldn't do a heart catheter right away. It takes time to schedule those things.
Yeah, it does.
So it was literally like, so we're at the early part of November of 2022.
Right. Yep.
And it wasn't until December 22nd, so it was about
Right around Christmas.
a couple of days before Christmas of 2022, that he could finally get me scheduled in for the heart catheter.
So at that time, did they know the amount of blockage that was?
He had no idea.
They had no idea.
No
So
idea.
why did they wait so long? Because they couldn't find a doctor?
It was just a matter of scheduling.
When I went into the hospital, and the first time I went in and I walked in, I said, something's wrong with my heart.
Yeah.
They pulled me in. They put me on the EKG, and they just right up into the ER. They didn't care. But your story is a little bit different, and I'm still trying to comprehend, because we had talked about this a few days ago in depth of the story.
Yeah.
And I was just listening to what you were saying, and oh my, how can the doctors not just instantly get you in there? And that bothers me.
Yeah. Again, we talk about like roads not taken, whatever. I think had I stayed in the ER and they wanted to keep me overnight, it probably would have gotten to that point of like, look, we can do a heart catheter right now.
Okay.
But because I went separately to a cardiologist, and the cardiologist also has other patients and other things that he has to deal with, so it was like, it's going to be...
And they allowed you to leave?
Reluctantly.
Wow.
Yeah, I said, they were not happy about it. They were not. They made it clear that it was a bad idea, and I said, I feel fine. And here's the thing. They tested my blood at the time. My troponin levels were back to normal.
Yeah.
So whatever happened in my mind was, it's out of my system. I'm better now. I'm okay now.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Whew.
So
okay.
So here it is, me being mostly careful at work, also occasionally taking long walks at work. I do clearly remember a few times where I did get those out of breath and those hold on, I gotta breathe, and I got that tightness in my chest.
Yeah.
So fast forward to that December 22nd for the heart catheter, which I did not want to do. So for a heart catheter, did you have a heart catheter?
No, I had ablations.
Okay. I knew some people that had heart catheters.
Right.
And they were saying it's really not that big a deal. And I can tell you for a fact, if you ever have to go in for a heart catheter, it's really not that big a deal.
An ablation for me was day surgery.
Okay.
You could go home that night. Is it day surgery or is it?
Yeah, it's literally like I went in the morning. They didn't even put me to sleep. I was awake for the whole thing.
Interesting.
They apparently take a wire either through your groin or through your arm. In my case, they did my arm, thankfully.
Mine was in the groin.
Yeah, no.
But I was asleep the whole time.
For me, they went through my arm, and they drive the wire directly into your heart.
Yeah.
And they shoot some liquid in there, some kind of ink to color it. And they had a big giant screen TV off to the side that they could look at and see what was going on. And so just to let everybody know, again, very painless. I said, so how does it look? Do I need a stent? And he said, let me double check with my partner and I'll get back with you. Comes back a few minutes later and he's like, I don't think a stent is going to cut it because of the amount of blockage that you have. And he spun the screen around so that I could see what was going on. And he was shooting the liquid through my heart, and you could see it on the monitor. And he said, you notice how half of it is not going through your heart. He said you have 100% blockage on the left main artery. And there were also other minor arteries that had different degrees of blockage in it as well. So I said, oh, well, that sounds bad.
I definitely need my Xanax.
Yeah. And he said, we might have to do some bypass surgery. Yeah. And I was not eager for that either.
But you were there.
Yeah, I was there. So
nothing else to do.
I literally, I remember asking him, well, when can we schedule that? Hopefully this weekend. And I'm like, oh, so can I go home? No. So they were very adamant about, you are not going home this time. So they give me an ambulance ride all the way to ORMC. It didn't make any sense to me, but apparently they're telling me, they called it a widowmaker. They used those words, and I'm like, oh. So in other words, I'd spent all this time for the last few years living on only half a heart, and it had reached a point where the half that was working was getting so stressed and just being pushed so much, it's like, screw it, I ain't doing this anymore. And it was starting to give out, and that's the reactions that I started to have with the out of breath and the whole. Now, here's the other interesting one, too. When I talked to my cardiologist about the pain that I was feeling on this side, he said that's the way that the nerves fire inside of your chest. The way that the pain, sometimes, they call it a ghost pain. You know, so you don't necessarily feel the pain where it is. Your receptors feel it somewhere else. So it's sort of like, then it was a matter of they had to find a surgeon to actually do the bypass surgery. And again, remember, this is 2 days before Christmas. Yeah, it would have been the 23rd that I was transferred over to ORMC.
Right.
Let me go through the actual surgery
part of it.
Let's do that. So I had the surgery Saturday morning. They told me I had less than 1% chance of complications. And they also said, remember, less than 1% is not zero. So they said there's always going to be that chance. But they said a few things that I absolutely loved. They said, you're very young. I'm like, go on.
Bonus.
And they said, you are in good shape. And please, more of that.
This is so you.
Yeah. So I wasn't worried about anything happening to me. I knew I would be fine. I just didn't want to go through it. That was the biggest thing for me. And that was my whole philosophy. I got too much else to do. You know, I got too much else going on to deal with this. So went into surgery Saturday morning. I'm told it went well. I slept through the whole thing. When I woke up in the ICU, the very first thing I said is, I can't breathe. Again, there are a couple of moments that I had during all of this that I consider the worst, and this was another one.
Okay.
Where literally they're lifting me up from the hospital bed to transfer me in the ICU, and I cannot breathe. They didn't seem to think it was a big deal. In their defense, they may have told me it'll be difficult to breathe, but I didn't even think about it. Yeah, at the time. Okay. I'm more concerned about just getting this over with and I didn't want the details. But they had all these tubes in me to catch all the fluids after the surgery and everything. I didn't have any pain. I couldn't breathe. They did have the oxygen tube in my nose, and I laid down in the ICU, and occasionally I would fall asleep, and that was when everything was fantastic, and then I would wake up, and I'd be like, oh, I'm still here, and I still can't breathe. Now, in fairness, it wasn't that bad.
What wasn't that bad?
The surgery itself. Like I said, I didn't have any pain, but at the same time, I may have been on a lot of drugs. But the worst part was just the not being able to breathe. That was the hardest thing to learn how to do again, to breathe properly.
Did they say why you were having problems breathing? Is that just part of it?
Partly because of all the tubes that they had inside pressing against my lungs.
Okay.
I think that was the biggest part of it. It was just your heart has just gone through this stress, and it's exhausted and tired, and you have to build up your stamina again. Eventually, after a few hours, they take me out of the ICU because they think I'm fine. They take me back to my hospital room. Again, I didn't have any pain, but I was on a lot of drugs at the time also. And that's when the very next day, I think I was able to kind of communicate, text some friends, although I don't know how cohesive some of those texts looked because, like I said, I was on a lot of drugs at the time. But that post that I made on Facebook, I'd written it the day before.
Okay.
So that way all I had to do was copy and paste. Because I didn't know how coherent I would be, so I'm like, all right, I don't want to have to think about explaining what happened to everybody. I just want to be able to copy, paste, and
and I'm going to put this on. I'm going to put that post on this.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's going on.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with that. I'm absolutely fine with that. I was very proud of that. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sure you were.
So they kept me in the hospital for a few days, and again, it was a matter of I had friends coming in like regularly, coming in and checking on me.
Okay.
Can I say seriously, a million times over, the support and the love that I got from everybody was absolutely unbelievable and just mind-boggling. It meant the world to me.
Yeah, I had one person who was while I was in my coma was emailing me every day.
Wow.
And she would put day 1, day 2,
Wow.
day 3.
Oh.
And I'm thinking about you. I hope you're good.
Yeah.
And she's just talking to me. This is a friend of mine who went back to high school, but she was writing me while I was in my coma.
Yeah.
And when I came out, almost a month later, I find all these emails.
Wow. Yeah.
And just
Yeah.
it makes you feel so good.
Absolutely.
And it just feel loved and worth, like, I've got to recover. You know?
Yeah. No, let me tell you, that was the best distraction. Not only did it feel good to know that, you know what? There are people that you do not expect to come out of the woodwork and tell you how much they're worried about you and how they wish you well. But it's also a fantastic distraction because I can sit there and talk the stupidest nerdy things. Here's the thing. So I'm still having trouble breathing, but I'm still having these conversations like I normally do, and I'm going 30 miles an hour. And so let me tell you, there was an episode that I saw from Star Trek from Richie. But it was a great distraction. And again, because I was probably on some good amount of drugs, I hope I was relatively coherent with people, but it meant so much in helping me recover. You know, don't ever think that people don't know. They do, and they care. It just, people don't necessarily say anything until the situations come up. And like I said, and I found out the reality. And it is unbelievably means the world to me, and I can't express enough how much I appreciate everybody that was checking up on me at the time.
Amen.
Yes.
Yeah, amen.
And so I was in the hospital for about 3 days after surgery. Let's see, it was Saturday morning was my surgery. Sunday, Monday, they started teaching me how to walk again. And I remember they would take me on walks, you know, and see how far I could go. And I would push myself, you know, because again, I felt like I should be able to get up and run across the room, but, you know, obviously not. And I'd push myself, and I'm like, yeah, this is as far as I can go. And they're like, all right, let's walk back. Hold on. I was not ready for this. All right, fine. So somehow I walked back. And so I live on the 3rd floor of my apartment building. And they were concerned about me going up flights of stairs.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
So they had taken me into the back of the hospital where they would make sure that I could walk up 3 flights of stairs. And it was quite the challenge. You know, had to stop on a landing and be like, all right, let's catch my breath here and we shall sally forth. But eventually they were like, all right, Wednesday, they were ready to discharge me.
Yeah.
Now, keeping in mind, I did have somebody at home taking care of me, but at the same time, there's that part of your mind that's like, should I be home? I don't know if I'm ready to be away from all of this medical, you know, advancements that I don't have any of this at home if I have a problem.
And Deeesher, it's so weird because before this all happened, you were resisting.
Absolutely.
And now, when you realize, now you're like, you know,
hey, wait a minute.
Dependent.
Maybe I need you here. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And it was funny.
I was same thing with me.
Oh yeah, and it was funny too because they asked me if I wanted because my insurance was decent. They asked if I wanted to have a nurse checking up on me, and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, so you just got home from the hospital. You're really dependent on the nurse.
Well, yeah, exactly. But again, she would only come like, I think it was every other day.
Was
or
it?
so.
Was it? Do you have a PT? Physical therapy?
Yes, eventually. Not right away.
Okay.
Not right away. They just wanted me to do some walking in my apartment every day. I actually had some friends come out and visit me, and they'd take me out for some coffee. My friends again.
Oh, coffee. That's good for the heart.
Yeah. Well,
This is a Deeesher.
Yeah. But
Okay.
like I said, again, going out.
Go for a cup of coffee after I had a heart attack. Okay.
But going out for those walks was good for me. Even though I was walking slow, and being able to catch up with some friends who'd tell me what was going on at work, or just having these kind of nerdy conversations.
Distractions.
Yeah. And then it was about 3 months after that they wanted to start the physical therapy with me.
Wow.
So I started doing that.
Long time in.
Yeah. I still had some aches and pains, but it was nothing. I never had any sharp pains. During recovery, the hardest part was finding a comfortable place to sleep, because I remember my first night home. It was a matter of, all right, let me try to sleep in the bed. No, let me try to sleep on the chair. No, let me try to sleep on the couch. Nope, let me go back to the chair. Nope, let me put these pillows here. Let me put
Was
these
it breathing
pillows.
issues?
It was
Or just soreness.
soreness, discomfort.
Okay.
And no, breathing. Once I was laying down or sitting down, breathing, as long as I wasn't talking, was okay. But definitely I had the soreness in the fact that, everything felt like it was like being pushed and poked and prodded into me.
Yeah.
So I was trying to find a comfortable place to sit down or lay down. I wound up literally just stacking pillows around me just so that I had that padding to keep myself safe.
I just want to interject that knowing you back when I knew you, you look so much healthier now.
Oh, thank you.
You actually look younger, even though we have aged, but still you just look healthier.
Thank you.
And I'm just so proud of you that
thank you.
you have made such an incredible recovery over this whole traumatic issue. But I do kind of, we can continue on with that, but I want to kind of switch topics here a little bit. When you left the hospital, how many medications were you on?
Oh, Lord. 6, 7, I don't even remember, to be honest.
Yeah.
And it was all regimented. It was all, okay, take this one in the morning, take these 3 in the morning, take this one in the afternoon, take these 3 at night, and then in the morning repeat, rinse, repeat.
Because I remember when I was taking the Metropolol,
Okay.
but I was also on digoxin, which was one was for kidneys, one was for heart.
Okay.
Or kidneys and liver. I think the digoxin was for something completely different. But what the cardiologists, what they weren't telling me is that they don't work together.
Oh, really?
They're toxic.
Ooh, yikes.
Digoxin and Metropolol, they do not work, and they both knew that I was taking because one doctor's, my nephrologist says, you need to take this, and my cardiologist, well, you need to take this.
Yeah.
I need to start paying attention to what are the doctors giving me?
Yeah.
And what is happening to me, to my body.
Yeah.
With all this medicine that they're giving me.
Absolutely.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't like medicines. I believe in Western medicine.
Yeah.
I believe in doctors, and I also believe, and I'll tell everybody again, if you are on medicine, do not self-diagnose yourself.
Yeah.
Do not choose like, hey, well, I don't think I should be taking this anymore because I'm doing this. No. Your doctor knows best.
Yes.
Your doctor will always know best. So never, ever, ever self-diagnose yourself, but always talk to your doctor. I started changing my regimen of food because not only did I have congestive heart failure, but I'm also stage 3A kidney failure. I'm also stage 3 liver. I've got liver disease. These are 3 silent killers, and if I don't maintain what I have left in my body, I could be unalived. They said like 3 to 5 years. And here it is, already 2024, and I am healthier now. I've lost all the weight, and I'm eating healthy, and I'm off of all the medications except for two. I'm still on Mounjaro. It's like a Ozempic.
Okay.
It's for type 2 diabetes.
Nice.
Oh, and I have type 2 diabetes. How about that? Yeah. So there's so I got like four ailments.
Yeah.
Medicines, I just remembered it took a long time for them to pull me off. They kept giving me more stuff. And I think the final straw was I actually had two cardiologists.
Oof.
And the second girl, I went in to see her. She sat me down and she goes, she didn't even remember who I was. I had to look at your chart to see who you were. I'm just a freaking number to her right now. And then she just like, okay, I'm going to put you on Jardiance. Here you go. I'm like, well, what is it? She goes, it's more medication for you. I'm like, what does it do?
Yeah.
And she goes, well, just read the directions. And she just wrote the prescription and she left. And I'm like, I got to the point where I have got to take control of myself now. There comes a point, and I'm trying to find out from you, did you have that realization that the medication was a Band-Aid for what was really happening to you? Did you ever get that?
So let me tell you, before all of this happened, I used to be somebody that, I don't want to say I self-diagnosed, but I just thought maybe I need this. And I had convinced myself, well, I'm having problems with this, so according to Google research,
WebMD.
Yeah, I need this. Best thing my doctor ever said to me, she was asking me, what are you taking? And I said, well, I'm taking this, I'm taking this, I'm taking this. She's like, why? I'm like, because I need it. And she's like, you don't need it. She said, look, you're eating foods. Foods have vitamins in it. That has everything that you need. You're doing fine. You don't need that extra stuff. And I was like, she's right. So now we have the heart surgery. And now they gave me all these prescriptions, which I was very anti-prescription before. And now that I'm in recovery, I'm like, I will take your word for whatever I need right now. And then here it was maybe a month later with the metoprolol tartrate. Yes. I felt like I was starting to get headaches. I just looked it up. And I was on 50 milligrams at first. Okay. And I started getting serious headaches. I could feel it every time I popped one of those. I would be like, my head just feels like it's going to explode. I called them up, and I talked to them, and they were fine with going down to 25 milligrams. So I started doing 25 milligrams. I am down to 3 prescriptions. I'm taking one for cholesterol. That's how this all started, remember? I didn't want to take cholesterol medicine. I'm taking it now. I'm on baby aspirin, which is nothing. And
it's better than Eliquis.
Yes. I was on this metoprolol tartrate. I'd convinced him to let me start cutting that in half, so it was 12 milligrams. My last visit with my cardiologist, I told him, these are still making me tired, and I think it's still giving me some soreness. There's some strange body aches that I feel like I'm getting. And it's making it difficult to exercise. He was a little reluctant taking me off of it, but what he said was, exercise, you need to bring up your stamina, you need to strengthen your heart. And he said that medication that I was on, it's barely on a whiff. He was fine with taking me off. Now, he did say, mortality rate is usually longer, but he seemed to accept my reasoning of not taking this particular medication. And this is the only one that I had a problem with. Okay. Everything else that I was on right after surgery, except for the oxycodone. I never took the oxycodone. I had it for just in case of emergency. I never, ever needed it.
Good.
Those are the only things that I'm on. Having that conversation, I think, was very important. Because now that I am not taking that metoprolol, I feel much better. In fairness, I'm not able to exercise like I want to.
Well,
but yeah, and that's still going to take some time, obviously.
Well, your heart has gone through a traumatic
Absolutely.
experience.
Yeah.
And you still have to take things a little slow
Sure.
to retrain your heart
Yeah.
because we're not spring chickens anymore.
Yeah,
you
no,
know?
apparently not. This is
Easy.
interesting. This you'll appreciate this. So
Okay.
right after my surgery, I remember I had some numbness in this hand. Now, I was on IV during my recovery. When I finally got home, I was like, why is this hand still numb? Why are these fingers still numb?
Yeah.
I thought sure they had damaged some nerves in my fingers. When I went to the cardiologist, no, it was the heart surgeon, 2 weeks after my recovery, I told him about that, and they said, no, that is your heart is literally in the process of mending all of that information that it needs to send to where it needs to go, and this is the last remaining part of it that I'm feeling.
It's amazing how your body can recover
Yeah.
and rejuvenate
Yeah.
itself.
And now it feels fine. Now it was
Like it's
literally
never
maybe
happened.
a month, 2 months after that. It was absolutely fine, like no big deal.
Could you tell me what you were taking at the time?
I just happen
I
to
would
have.
love to know what you had.
I
because
just happen to have.
Yeah.
Oh, we have
Let's-
this fantastic photo of me.
Oh, this is my regiment.
Yeah.
Okay, you go through yours.
All right.
Wait,
Nice.
I can.
Yeah. No, you've got quite a. All right. So, like I said, the oxycodone. They gave me 5 milligrams. I never ever took it.
Good.
I never ever took it.
Good for you. Good
Yeah.
for you.
Thank you. They also gave me, and I'm going to destroy all of these names, but I'm going to try.
Yep.
Potassium chloride or Chlorcon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that is.
Potassium is really important for you. Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
They gave me Plavix, Clopidogrel.
Okay.
I don't even know. Yeah. They also gave me the metropol tartrate, 50 milligrams originally. They gave me 200 milligrams of Pacerone. I don't know. The other name for it is amiodarone.
Oh, amiodarone. Yeah.
Oh,
amiodarone.
is that
Yeah,
one you've got?
That's
All
what,
right.
That's what
I
I
had
got.
200 milligrams of that.
Yep. Amiodarone.
I also had the cholesterol medicine, Lipitor,
Yep, I had that.
40 milligrams of that. And the last one is Lasix.
I had Lasix. Yeah.
Yeah, and 20 milligrams of that.
Yeah.
And for right now, I have gotten down to baby aspirin and cholesterol.
And you know what the baby aspirin is for, right?
No.
Blood clots.
Oh, is that what it is?
Blood clots.
Okay.
Yep, that's why I was on Eliquis.
Okay.
Eliquis is really powerful. When they discovered I had a heart murmur and AFib, that means your muscles aren't going doom doom
Yeah,
doom
yeah.
doom. Your butt it's vibrating and it's just
Yeah.
passing blood. And when it passes blood, sometimes the circulation in your body, the blood can clot in your
Oh,
feet and
interesting.
it can back up your heart and you can have a heart attack. That's why you're taking baby aspirins, because the baby aspirin is working like a blood thinner.
Wow. Okay.
So continue doing that. That's a really
No,
good
no,
thing
no.
to take. Is baby aspirin. Just one a day. You can chewable. It actually tastes good.
I justified baby aspirin as I've reset my clock and
Yeah.
I am now a baby once again.
Yes.
So
I if I don't do I can't do I can't take Motrin,
Oh, really?
Aleve, anything that has any histamines or anything like
Oh,
that.
interesting.
I can't do Benadryl. Anything like that because of my kidneys and my liver. It
Interesting.
cannot process. I have to be
Wow.
really careful what processes through especially my kidneys, because my kidneys won't grow back. Half of my kidneys are gone. Fortunately, the liver. Did you know the liver is the only organ in your body that can regrow? That
Oh,
can
no
Yeah,
way.
yeah, I didn't know that, but I do
that's
now.
awesome.
My liver is but I still have liver disease.
Yeah.
And I have to keep that in check. But my kidneys, I really have to be careful of those because. You know, when my kidneys fail,
Yeah.
either you have to go on dialysis
Yeesh.
or I have to have a kidney transplant. And this is another thing that I want to talk to you about.
Sure.
Post surgery, with after the drugs, when you realize you can start really taking care of yourself. What did you do health wise as far as nutrition? Did you change anything in your lifestyle?
So it's interesting when I found out that I had high cholesterol in 2015, whenever it was, my diet drastically changed then. So I think that my diet changing at that point was the best thing that I could have done for myself, but the damage had already been built up over time, so too little too late. So post-surgery, they did talk to me about diet. Again, I stopped drinking soda years ago. I used to do 3 Mountain Dews a day, and now I do water, I do lemonade, I do orange juice, and coffee. But that's it. And I still do turkey. I don't do the mozzarella sticks every day anymore. I haven't had fast food in forever. But at the same time, I'm not much of a cook for myself at home, so it's no big deal for me to do like soup or salad or something relatively simple. I think that's the biggest thing is that I just tried to do more of the same thing that I was doing, only careful. They specifically called it Mediterranean diet, and you might know more about that.
This is my second season of Cooking with Richie,
Nice.
but I didn't even realize I would consider that the first season because I was just kind of just doing it because I was actually doing these cooking videos for my sisters and my wife and my kids to show them, hey, look, look what I'm doing. I'm eating healthy over here, and I was just that's why I video, and I started posting them and people started watching them. But when I did the Mediterranean diet, I did one Mediterranean dish, and it was the most hits I've ever gotten
awesome.
on all of my videos that I posted last year.
Yeah.
That was the one that people watch constantly,
Nice.
and I get direct messages and like, my God, Richie, that sounds great. Thank you so much. So this season, I'm actually doing more Mediterranean. If you look into the Mediterranean diet, don't even consider it a diet. It's not a diet. It's just a way of eating. It's a lifestyle. All of the nuts and the chickpea and the onions and the garlic and the spices and the herbs, all of those things are primary nutrients the body craves.
Sure.
That's what we need. And I learned that eating spinach or even like ginger, turmeric, cinnamon, and like all these like these spices.
I always add cinnamon to my coffee.
Yeah. Yes. Now, when you went back, you were talking about self-diagnosing yourself, and one of the things that happened to me was when I couldn't breathe, and I was gaining weight. I didn't know what the hell was happening to me. And I thought I was smoking because you remember me smoking.
Oh God, yeah! You
much
used to smoke all
I
the time.
I smoked a lot. Even though I smoked like Marlboro Lights, I was smoking like a chimney. And you and I would always sit and we'd smoke and smoke and
because
smoke.
the light cigarettes are much healthier for you.
Go figure. But yeah, so I self-diagnosed myself. Now that I'm on the other side, and I realized the importance of eating healthy to support a healthy heart and a healthy liver. If you can't support the heart, you're not supporting anything.
Absolutely.
That's the first thing that you need to treat, because without a heart, there's nothing.
Yeah.
I learned about nutrition. I learned about turmeric. I learned about ginger. I learned about just lemon water. You know how you say lemonade?
Yeah.
There's a reason why you like lemonade, because when I got out of the hospital and I was talking to my PCP doctor, I called. I was like, hey, I don't know why, but I'm craving gin and tonic. And I don't drink. I don't drink alcohol. Why am I craving this? She's like, you're not craving the gin and tonic. Because you're craving the limes.
Interesting.
You want the lime. I'm like, yeah. I go, when I got the gin and tonic, I'm like squeezing the lime. I go, there was so much lime in there, and now I'm drinking it like it was like water.
Sure.
She goes, well, you need to stop doing that. But she goes, it's your body is telling you need that nutrient that's in the limes. Got rid of I got rid of the gin and the tonic water.
Nice.
And I was just having lime juice. Once I quit smoking and I started really paying attention to what my body needed, all of a sudden, like, why am I craving mushrooms?
Nice.
Why am I craving turmeric? Why am I craving this? Why does garlic taste so good? Because your body wants it.
Yeah.
And once you start paying attention to what your body really wants, all of a sudden you're healthier. Everything absorbs into your body, and those nutrients are so good for you. And the McDonald's and the Burger King, God love you guys, but
Yeah. Can I just say on that topic alone right there?
Yeah.
So as I mentioned, I used to drink 3 Mountain Dews a day. I used to quarter pounder of cheese, Whopper, whatever. once you stop taking this, well, let me just backtrack and say, I felt like I was gaining weight. So I decided, you know what? The solution is I'm going to switch to Diet Mountain Dew. That is the worst thing you can possibly do, because not only did I said, this tastes horrible, but maybe I can get used to it, which is not the way to look at it. And B, I felt horrible after drinking it. I felt bloated. I felt just horrible. And then do the research on it, and you find out just how bad diet soda really is. So I stopped doing that completely. Now, fast forward many years later, there was a Mountain Dew there, and I thought, maybe I can have that. It tastes horrible. Once you get away from these things, you will be surprised at just how bad they taste.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that. Yeah.
Quarter pounder, I think I tried one time, and I was like, I regret this so much. I just had one. I don't even think it was a quarter pounder. It was a cheeseburger from McDonald's. I had a cheeseburger from McDonald's.
Sits in your stomach for like a day.
I felt horrible. Yeah. And I was like, well, there's a reason that I haven't done this in so long, and this is why.
The when I found out I had diabetes, because after everything that I've gone through, I actually survived not going into the grave. Yeah. And I came out of it, and then months later, I get hit with diabetes. And type 2 diabetes is like almost like the top 10 killer of human beings. The whole food thing for me was a revelation for me, the way I was going to fix my body, and that's how I was going to recover.
And I think that was, like I said, at the point that I did change my diet, it was too little too late. The damage had already been done, because I'd lived the majority of my life eating garbage, basically.
I don't want to say the damage was done up to that point. You can recover from what you damaged to your body. You and I are both living testaments that we can change our bodies and just the way that we ingest food. And we are, you always hear like, you are what you eat. Yeah. I always took that. I'm like, well, whatever. You are what you eat. We are what we eat. And we are what we consume. And,
so essentially, I was a big cheese stick back then.
And oh my God, I was like macaroni and cheese whiz. What was that thing with Thor in Endgame? Thor was like, he goes, what's coursing through my blood?
Cheese whiz.
Cheese whiz. Like, I just watched that a few days ago. I'm laughing because we are what we eat. And so but Mike, I'm so glad that you are as healthy as you are, and I'm so glad that you were here today and helping me with my podcast. And I'm actually setting up for season 3. And you don't even know about it. I'm growing a garden in my backyard.
Oh, fantastic!
Very cool. I bought a bunch of seeds and pumpkin seeds. I bought avocados, and I've got corn and carrots and kale and mint and all these like herbs and spices, stuff like that. I'm growing myself because next year I'm going to be cooking with those things that I've been growing in my backyard. And I'm also preparing for the apocalypse.
No, obviously,
because
you never know.
You never know.
But I mean, the main thing is for me is I feel great. I sort of feel like, obviously, with the exercise, I still have a long way to go. I'm still trying to push myself. Still trying to eat right. I'm never going to eat perfect, and I think that that's a big thing too. That don't give yourself stupid goals and expect yourself to hit it.
See, I've said that. Yeah. You don't have to set goals. Just know what you're ingesting. Know what you're putting in your body. Don't consider it a diet. Yeah. But the one thing that I advocate all the time is that the foods that we eat are the primary foods. A lot of people that don't eat well. Yeah. They think that that's the primary food. It's like, I have to change. I have to eat alternate foods. Like, no, you don't. You have to get off the alternate foods and eat the primary foods. Yeah. There are different ways to ingest this type of foods, and even juicing. I love juice. Have you ever juiced before?
No, I have not.
I juice every day.
Nice.
Every day. I have carrots and apples with a little bit of ginger, and I do ginger shots. I actually. Have you ever had beets? Do you know what beets are?
I know what they are. I probably had them, but
beets
I don't
are great for the liver.
Okay.
Good for the blood.
Nice.
Beets are red. It's really, really rich in iron, blah, blah, blah. But, yeah, I saw something on TikTok. Someone was juicing with beets, and with beets and lemons and oranges, and I tried. Oh, my God, it was so good. And you put cinnamon in it. Did you ever know cinnamon goes with beets?
Oh, right.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
it is such a treat. Especially when it's ice cold, when you put them in the little vials and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And when I drink those and I go throughout the day, and I'm wondering, like, why do I have so much freaking energy?
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that I am who I am today.
Absolutely.
I'm so glad that I'm as thin. I mean, I wish I was like 198. That was my goal.
We're never going to be perfect. You're always, I don't care how much you work out, what you do, you're always going to have that vision in your mind that I can be better.
I can be better.
And that's not a bad thing. You don't ever want to be 100% because then you just stop.
Right.
So you always want to try and improve, but then you got to keep it in perspective too. Don't knock yourself out trying to get in.
That was probably the best thing that you said. This entire thing, that was the best thing that you said.
Delete everything else.
Delete everything else. We just have that little
keep that. Sound bubble. All right.
That was great. Oh my God, Deeesher, that was really good.
Hey.
Yeah, I like that. Any other words of wisdom?
Yeah, like I said, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm trying to do things right. I'm trying to push myself regularly. But I'm also trying to be realistic. The way that I look at it is everything that was done was sort of a great reset for me, and now I can start from zero and okay, let's do it right this time.
Lee Everett would love that. What a great podcast this is going to be. I can't wait to go into post and start editing this together because I've been wanting to get you in here for a long time, and even before then we wanted to do like the sci-fi and stuff like that. It was so much fun. So thank you so much for being here and telling me your story. You had so many cool things. I can't wait to edit and put this all together. So are there any I'm trying to think, are there any final thoughts that you may have, anything that you want to say before we wrap this up?
Absolutely.
Hang on. No. It's on you now.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Thank you for letting me rant endlessly, because these are the things, once you actually go through this experience, it does play over and over in your head.
It's very therapeutic.
And one of the things that was cathartic for me was writing it all out. Actually, it was about the year anniversary after it happened in the end of 2023, once I kind of came out the other side and was feeling a million times better. I just had to write everything out, what happened. So I appreciate getting the chance to talk about it.
But here we are. We're on the recovery side, and we're eating healthier. We understand what it takes to take care of our bodies and to maintain a healthy life, and we're going to be around for years to come. And I hope that maybe you and I can do a podcast, something like this, and maybe do something different. Because I've been wanting you in my studio. I've been wanting to do a podcast, and this is isn't this fun?
Absolutely, this is great.
It was fun to talk about, you know.
No, I absolutely appreciate it.
So, thank you so much. And do you have any websites or anything that you would like to promote? That
the main thing is, I do this nerdy cosplay thing that most people seem to know me as. On Facebook, Deeesher, spelled with 3 E's, Deeesher. You can find me on Instagram, also under Deeesher, also even TikTok, which I don't like to admit that I have, but I do. But I don't post that much on there. But the main place to find me is probably on Facebook, where I mainly post a bunch of nerdy stuff, and I do all the conventions in town and everything. So and I have a good time doing that.
He has the most unique, interesting insight to movies, and sometimes you're so spot on. Sometimes you're not.
I am always spot on.
Sometimes
according to myself,
right.
I am.
You're right, but sometimes you're not. Goodbye. But you do have great insight on that, and I highly encourage you, if you are a geek like me and you love sci-fi, and you love science fiction, and you love action adventure, go see Deeesher, and because his reviews, his blogs are amazing. Okay, well, guys, everybody, thank you so much for joining me for episode 3 of Cooking with Richie, the podcast. I'll see you soon.
Say goodbye. Goodbye.
All right, end scene. Yay. And this is called B-roll footage. B-roll footage. What do you want to talk about?
No, every time I go back to see my cardiologist, there is a nurse that remembers me very clearly. And you know what she says to me? You didn't want to do this. Every time she reminds me. Every time.
Really?
Yep. Every
Oh my
time.
God.